scenario process, as we just have heard, identified also the chemicals employed at various stages of the leather manufacturing and processing as a potential sphere of activity. Julian and Jonas just presented in some detail the history that led to the development of the subproject, so I will not elaborate on this again, but just briefly. Our motivation for this subproject was based mainly on the keywords natural resources, safe use of high-quality chemicals, and modern process technologies in the documentation of the scenario process. Next slide, please. The concept and possible outcomes of a subproject, of course, should be consistent with the key influential factors and objectives as identified in the scenario process. The slide shown here is based on the theory of change and was already discussed earlier by Jonas. And we can use this description to identify possible outcomes also for this subproject. Next slide, please. Oh, Karen, next slide. No, this is one too far. One back, please. Yeah, thank you. Sorry. I do not want to go much into details of this future scenario at this point. However, we found working on the system optimization and process innovation, including manufacturing processes of chemicals, would contribute to more sustainable products and production processes in the leather supply chain. Next slide, please, Karen. Yes. We chose chemicals and process innovations as title of the subproject. It is fact that chemicals define the quality of leather products and assure the stability of many of the leather processing steps. And if our goal is to improve the supply chain concerning a more sustainable chemistry, innovations on the level of chemicals and processes may, of course, play a significant role. To our opinion, only the collaboration with actors and stakeholders of the supply chain can deliver a profound description of interrelations and perspectives. However, the respective actors are facing different challenges. On one hand, we want to produce more sustainable. On the other hand, enterprises must immediately produce more economically. We need sensible and worldwide applicable standard, but the consumer is interested in safe and cost-effective products, probably as well as in safe production facilities in the neighborhood. Based on these considerations, we formulated a number of research questions which could possibly be answered by the subproject. At first, we have to identify the role that in the supply chain employed chemicals play concerning a more sustainable chemistry. Do technical aspects play a major role, or are organizational and non-technical aspects more significantly contributing to the future development of the supply chain? The follow-up question would be, which technical and organizational potentials could be identified with the manufacturing processes of the chemicals? At this point, modern concepts of process technology may be considered, such as decentralized, modularized production, green engineering principles, alternative energy and raw materials, as well as digitalization. Many enterprises of the chemical industry, if not the most, are of course already active in this field. And in the framework of this subproject, we can only briefly perform technical developments. However, maybe concrete measures can be identified within this subproject, which can be then addressed by the actors. The pictures, by the way, give some impressions on our own technical work, which is concerned mainly with chemical reactor development, partly in our pilot plant facility. Technical aspects here are combinations of continuously operated unit operations, increased heat transfer and mixing efficiency, decreased energy and space footprint, and the search of chemical manufacturing methods based on renewable resources. As engineers, we are, of course, far from claiming that one particular technology can solve all chemical processing problems associated with leather chemicals in the most efficient way. On the other hand, we made very good experience with discussion formats in a technical environment, and we would like to invite you to visit us as soon as the situation allows. Next slide, please, Carl. Established and new chemicals and their manufacturing processes must undergo a suitable assessment. Here, it is crucial to identify the most significant criteria in order to drive the future development in a successful direction. In this framework, a number of activities like that from ZDHC, the Textile Bündnis, and the Leather Working Group provide significant work. And this sub-project should not reinvent the wheel. But we believe that these activities could be complemented by integrating additional supply chain actors in the discussion where necessary, and possibly by also considering life cycle assessments based on manufacturing processes of the chemicals. Finally, future process innovations in the leather manufacturing and processing could contribute to make the supply chain significantly more sustainable. Concrete developments for the various steps, let's say, for the beam house, the tannery, fat liquoring, dyeing, finishing, or the employment of sewage technology, process automation, and recycling technologies could be examined. By the way, during our German kickoff meeting last week, already further aspects such as training of personnel, available infrastructure, improved exhaustion, and a few more were named by the audience as aspects to be addressed here. The comments showed how complex the topic is and how important the contributions of the supply chain actors are. Possibly the results of this sub-project can contribute also to the methodology currently employed for compilations of list of restricted substances for the leather manufacturing. Let me add that all these research questions are only meant as suggestion for the sub-project kickoff, and specification and replenishments are to be expected. Next slide, please. As the nature of the umbrella project is to develop views and perspectives together with the actors of the supply chain, only some preliminary objectives are shown on this slide. I already mentioned the role of chemicals from system perspective. Making the efforts of the actors also on the chemicals and technical level more transparent to customers and consumers could lead to an improved appreciation of leather, in particular of leather produced with more sustainable processes. One of the central aspects is to develop a strategy how to produce more sustainable and more economical, and how to solve the problem that more sustainable production may lead to increased production costs, which might currently not be accepted in the leather supply chain. So I would like to stop at this point. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope I could raise your interest to join the sub-project, and back to Karen.